What is up everybody, and welcome back to another Among Us video. And in this video I'm going to be telling you about this secret map you should never play in Among Us. So I'm sure that many of you are aware that Among Us is a game that is full of mystery. The whole purpose of the game is to figure out who the imposter is, and there is a lot of problem solving involved in order for you to win the game. And now you may be asking yourself, why are you telling us this information if we already know? Well, let me explain. So in Among Us, there's actually this secret map that only a select few of players will ever get access to. And this map is very different than the others. The whole purpose of this map is to solve a mystery. I actually got a chance to solve the mystery on this map, and I'm here to tell you everything that happened, so you won't want to miss this. And before we get any further into this video, I do want to mention that 70% of you have not hit that subscribe button, which means that you're missing out on Among Us darkest secrets. So why not solve that issue by hitting that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on, and dropping a like on this video if you do enjoy. But now, let's begin with today's story video. So something strange happened to me while I was playing Among Us. It was early in the morning, so there really wasn't many lobbies available. So I just joined this random hide and seek lobby and I was just walking around. As more and more players joined, we started the game. I spawned inside of the kitchen and I made my way over to electrical, since I had a task to do there. And when I opened up the task, I saw a note that said please fix. So I clicked on it and a note appeared. The note read, "Be where you be, he will seek where you be." And that is when my screen became darker and darker, to the point that I couldn't see. So after I read that note, I appeared inside of the party that it was talking about, and it did mention that I have to solve a mystery, so I should probably look around the map to look for any clues or anything suspicious. Right next to the area that I spawned in, I could see where the DJ was playing the music. We also had 2 large speakers, but based on what I see, I don't see anything that could help me. But at least this does confirm that there was a party. I then made my way over to the left side, and I could see some more speakers, and one of them was knocked down. So far we know that the party happened not that long ago, and it was a pretty crazy one, based on all the bottles on the floor and the speaker knocked down. The computer that the DJ used to play the music was also on. I then made my way over to the bottom of the cafeteria, and the table was empty. So far I haven't gotten any information from this location. I need to check the other table. So I made my way over to the other table and I saw a crewmate that was passed out. Looks like he had a good time. I tried to talk to him, but he wasn't moving. So I'm gonna continue to search. I went over to the top portion of the map, and I could see in bright letters, Among Us Party and Scaled. So looks like this was a pretty big event that took place in the map. I then left the cafeteria and I went over to Medbay. But before I entered, I did see this big cross. And when I entered, they turned Medbay into a medical room. And on one of the hospital beds, I saw a dead imposter. There was also blood everywhere, and he also wasn't moving. Towards the bottom, there was also a table where someone was conducting experiments, and there was also pizza on the floor and on one of the beds. The hospital bed was also partially destroyed, but the dead imposter doesn't solve anything. It only makes it more confusing. So I left Medbay and I went over to Upper Engine. And the engine was another color. It was neon green. And on top of the engine there was also an atom. And the tube that you put the fuel in had a radioactive symbol. So it looks like the map is being powered by radioactive waste. But where are they getting it from? I left Upper Engine and I went over to Reactor, and on the entrance I found the radioactive waste. So that did solve one question. But when I entered inside a Reactor, some of the floor was missing and tentacles were coming out. The room was also very green. There was a random dead fish on the corner. So this could be a possible answer to the case that we're trying to solve. But what didn't make any sense is that the ship was still moving and was being powered by this waste. So I went next door into the security room, and this appeared to be a studio. So I checked the cameras and I could see a gaming keyboard and a mouse, and there was also a glizzy. But the cameras didn't solve anything. So I left security and I entered lower engine. It was pretty much the same as upper engine, just another area that they were using the waste to power the ship. That is until I entered electrical, and inside I saw a dead crewmate, and there was also a weapon, and whoever was using it fled the scene. In the back of the electrical room, I could see some tubes with the DNA symbol. And in the corner there was a random creature. He must have been created from all the waste in the ship. So I left the electrical and I went over to storage. And I found more radioactive waste. This ship was covered in it. There were several containers everywhere. And at the bottom of the storage room, part of the floor was open. But then I saw something so strange. Right next to all of this, there was a plastic garbage bag. And there was a bone sticking out. So far we have seen 2 dead crewmates, 1 imposter, and a crewmate that was passed out. In the top left corner of the storage room, I could see the drinks. And there was a bunch of glass bottles. And you could tell that some crewmates were here, which I found really interesting. And on the other side I saw a Fall Guys character. I couldn't tell if he was real or just a plushie. But who knows, I need to continue to investigate. When I entered the admin room, you can tell that the crewmates had a lot of fun. There was dirty clothes everywhere, and the computer monitors were turned on. I didn't see anything suspicious in here, so I left the admin room and I went over to communications. And inside communications, there was a whole gaming setup, and there was also some music playing. The floor was also covered in carpet, and it looks like there was some sort of celebration in here. So maybe this was the area that the crewmates partied the most, since there was a bunch of confetti on the floor, but there was no crewmate to be seen. So I left communications and I went over to Shields. And in Shields there was a bunch of candles. And there was also a symbol on the floor. Not to mention there was also a dead chicken. So something suspicious is happening in here. There was also a cup. So a few crewmates were here. At least I think there were crewmates. I didn't want to be in this location any longer. So I went over to navigation. And navigation was the area that seemed the most normal. There wasn't a mess anywhere, and everything was organized. But I didn't see anyone. There was no one controlling the ship. So I left navigation and I went over to O2. And inside this area there was just a bunch of vegetation. Nothing in here was gonna solve this mystery, so I went over to weapons. And in weapons I saw a gaming chair. But the thing that caught my eye was that there was a few weapons on the wall. And we did see one earlier, back in electrical. There was also a map in weapons that showed the entire planet. And for some reason Argentina was marked on the map. I wonder why. So I returned back to the cafeteria. I now looked around the entire map, but now I have to connect the puzzles. As I was walking around the cafeteria thinking, the lights turned off. And I began to hear noises coming from Medbay, which is the location that I saw an imposter. So I slowly approached the location that I heard the noises, and when I arrived they were gone. I then saw a dark shadow getting close to me, but I wasn't sure what it was. I was getting really scared, so I left, and I made a run for it. Whatever that was, I don't want to mess with it. But then I began to hear noises coming from reactor. So I walked inside and I didn't see anything. It went quiet again. But then the shadow began to approach me, and I ran out of reactor. I'm just trying to solve this case. But what if that's my answer? As I was running through the map, I made it into storage. And a red body appeared on my screen. And this body wasn't here before. My screen was also frozen, but I could see the shadow approaching me from behind. And then Patient Zero, Unknown, and MC appeared surrounding my body. The shadow then covered my entire screen, and we were all gone. If you would like to know what happened, let's see if we can get this video to 30,000 likes. I do also want to give a massive shout out to Kitty King for helping me produce this video. If you would like to help out a smaller creator, make sure to go check out his channel and subscribe to him. And if you're new to the channel and want to see more Among Us story videos, make sure that you hit that subscribe button with the bell icon turned on. And check out these other Among Us story videos that I found on my channel.